let's go back to South Africa.
Yes. So while
the intervention, you're going to talk to us about that final. I want to know about that final intervention.
we
walk me through you being told that Kofi.
So we basically fixed a meeting time. Everyone was there, 6 against 1.
No, you see, you want to move quickly, but I feel like this is so important. Anybody who's gone through any family intervention before, because you already know that they've called you. Did they tell you the day before?
Yes, they told me the day. It wasn't
tomorrow.
It wasn't
this is what is happening.
So
was it in the morning?
They wanted everyone to be around.
Was it in the morning?
Because not everyone was around.
Good.
It was
scheduled for.
I think, in the evening.
So what did you spend that day doing? Or you didn't mind? You just went through your.
No, you see, the number of meetings were not going to change the outcome. So it wasn't whether you call 2 people, 5 people, 10. The outcome wasn't.
Do you know the 6 people who were there?
No, it was my elder brothers and my dad and mom.
Okay.
Yes, they were the only ones there.
Did anybody? Yeah. So how did it start?
So basically, my dad had to update everyone. Not everyone stayed in the house. Okay. So I think at the time it was me and my elder brother.
They stayed in the house.
The one I'm after. So we were the ones only in the house.
The rest had to travel from
wherever they are to come in for the.
It was like the birth of Jesus. You had people coming from
the big board meeting. So he had to come in. And then, so obviously he had to update them on fees on this is reasons and all of that. That kind of thing. So
and how were you sitting?
So seated here, everyone gathered here. It was like
when they said it, then who spoke next? Your eldest brother, or
so they all had to chip in and be like, fee is this, that, all trying to explain why going to university is important. Even if you don't use it for anything, you still have your degree and all of that, which, I mean.
But at that time, they had already raided your room looking for drugs.
That was even before the meetup. Like, that was earlier interactions and it was my elder brother. I don't even talk to him today, so.
Oh, wait.
Yes. And so he...
Was it because of the raid or other issues after?
I like to describe it as snowball.
Okay.
You know how, at the top of the mountain is a snowball.
Yes, and then
by the time it reaches the bottom, you don't even see the exact thing that started.
Yeah.
So we've had friction over the years, and it all stems from the fact that I didn't go to university. Because I did not go, he doesn't see any value in me. And he sees me as a useless person.
But now that you are a real estate developer,
so for him, his interaction with me degraded in the sense that he doesn't see any value in me anymore because I don't have a degree, at which point, what is the use of my life?
Okay.
So any interaction...
That's your interpretation of it. It's not what he said.
No, that's literally things he've said.
Okay.
So it was like anytime we have a conversation, it ends up in insults.
Okay.
Because he does not even see, I am not even worthy in his eyes to have an idea of my own. Or, for example, if he's discussing a project or something that we want to do it this way and that way, and you're like, oh, if we do it that way, it might not do that. He doesn't see who the F are you to even come up with an idea. You are not even worthy to think on your own, that kind of thing. So it's more than 10 years now, if not. Okay. And the reason behind it was simply because anytime we would talk, we would fight. So then let's not talk. That's the premise behind it.
And is that the one that you come directly after?
No, he's the firstborn.
But you also have to understand this, right? And they say this all the time, that firstborn are children who just do what their parents say.
Yes, for him.
And then the lastborns are pampered, they are spoiled. Who are you to have your own opinion? You won't go to school. Because firstborn is usually his duty.
For him,
everything was duty.
And for him, he ended up becoming super successful.
Yeah.
He's the most successful in our family.
So he wanted you to follow his blueprints.
Actually, we couldn't. We wouldn't be able to. His level of ambition is unlike what we had.
If you had gone to university and then
for him, it's one of those things that they call it the success paradox, where
Okay.
sometimes we attribute our success to hard work, but it may be our position in time. And
Oh, yeah, I see you're
his
right.
position in time was he took networking on and rose up the ranks
At the
of
right time.
CCIE at the right time in Ghana.
Which is what you were trying to do with web, but you didn't get a university degree.
No. In my case,
I'm just teasing you.
oh
don't
yeah,
worry.
but in my case, I think if I had gotten the needed support, I could have become something like Alfred Rowe,
Okay. I'm not familiar with him.
the guy behind Ego Tickets.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's one of the. He also did NIT, IPMC those days, early days, and he did that.
Okay, but is it possible now that you're older?
And me saying say I could have become Alfred Rowe doesn't mean I would have. Like,
it's
there
just
is no. Yeah.
No, but one thing I've realized as I've gotten older is disagreements come from difference in perspective. When sometimes neither one of us is wrong. But at the end of the day, it's like, because this is my idea, I'll stick to mine.
Yes.
So at least, have you reached a point of maturity where even if you still don't talk to your brother, you can at least empathize with him to understand that he believes he had a model for success. And this little boy who's like 10 years or 12 years younger than 15 years younger than him, you thought you knew and you couldn't. Somebody would say that he would have maybe wanted to mentor you. Maybe by now you'll be taking over his business and you'll be going around. But it doesn't mean that that was your calling. Yeah. Right? Because sometimes, that's why I can have peace of mind. I attribute this kind of stubbornness to a calling. For whatever reason, you were called by the article, whatever God put in your way, to call you.
And interestingly, this article I'm talking about, I've never mentioned it again. I've never mentioned it to
anybody.
My family don't even know.
Oh wow! So the external thing they were looking for was an article that you just read.
And that was in JHS, even before the high school Wahala started. I couldn't find the article to even show it, so I never talked about it.
but the words already.
Yes, that was
that grabbed you.
And I do understand them. Yeah. And it's one of those things that there is no guarantee that I would have succeeded if I went that path.
That's true. I mean, I think the best determinant
what
of success,
what I could know for a fact with myself is if I went to the university,
maybe you'd have done drugs.
I probably would have become a version that I couldn't even look at myself again.
Why do you think that?
And because I know how, I don't know how to put it, but many So looking at what I was in high school, in secondary school, if I went to the university and stayed there, I would have become a menace.
Yeah. So it's good.
And that could have maybe become a good thing or a bad thing.
Yeah.
But that version, if I pictured that version, it scared me. So
so it's better you went the way you
for
went.
For me, I still believe if I went to the university, no matter where I went to study, I wouldn't have come out correct.